Hey everyone, and welcome to At the Table, the show that asks you to pull out a chair, get out your TTRPG books, and join us at the table. But without further ado, while I clear my throat, not in any way that's musical, we're going to do a quick introduction. Mr. Michael Powell, tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social media handle usually, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's M-R-K-A-P-A-O. And how about you, PJ?
My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Although on Twitter it's just PJ McGaw. But I'm everywhere. Try to escape me.
All right, I'm going to have to change these sunglasses so I can actually see.
Yeah, they do look really good. And it's funny because today is Valentine's Week. Now, I want to put it out there that I know that we all kind of hate Valentine's Week, and it is absolutely this whole blown up thing, bloated off the Hallmark thing. But let's stop focusing on that and focus on the love that we have for each other and the things that we love and the people that we love before and after the 14th. Love is a 365 kind of thing, right? So today we're going to talk about some romantic classes, love from the gods to the squishy mortals, or love sacrifice. And then later, stick around or maybe check out the next episode. We're going to be talking about romantic role play. Classes that are great for romance, character builds that you had that worked very well, or role-playing narratives and how to engage them safely. Because feelings sometimes can kind of suck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it can be amazing.
Consent is key.
Always, 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 always. So we're going to be discussing all that kind of stuff. Now, if we get to the romantic role-play stuff and you're not vibing with it, it makes you uncomfortable, put it in the chat. Just say, hey, I don't know, I feel kind of weird about this topic. Let us know. We can deflect however we need to, because this is a fun topic, but one that not everyone feels comfortable about, and that's absolutely fine.
Oh, yeah. We got some folks in chat already. Adam Generator. Hello! I could finally watch the stream. Hello, Adam Generator. Glad to have you with us. We also have Malice1974. Hello, folks. Hello, Malice. Yeah. Adam Generator posted, every class is good for romance, especially the wizard. You know what? I think every single class is equally well equipped to deal with romance, you know?
I agree. I think that's also something that's a very valid conversation, because romance is a choice, and every character and every narrative, a good one anyway, should have the choice, right?
Exactly.
Basically, I just didn't want to get up in this conversation and everyone go, bards, because they're horny. Because that's a dumb trope. That's not what bards are. That's just what we've put onto them.
Pengu-chan. Hey, Pengu-chan. Posted, and once again, my message gets caught by Automod. I don't know why Automod hates me. It does it on another channel, too. Thank you, Mod. Yeah, Automod could be kind of weird.
Yeah, Automod's kind of wonky. And apparently it didn't like that you said the word rat, because you said congratulations, but the G was not there. And I'm like,
is rat a bad word now?
Honestly, I don't even know anymore. I don't. Well, anyway, welcome to the conversation. As I clear my throat for the second time, welcome to the table, at the table. So yeah, we're talking about romance. So the first things we're talking about here is clearly like, this is a great example. In different languages, you have different types of love, right? You have earthly love, you have courtly love, you have, romantic, platonic, and sometimes you have like
a toxic
divine
love.
You absolutely have toxic love.
There's a lot of songs out there by many bards who have composed toxic love. Isn't that a Britney Spears song too?
I think it's just toxic. But you could argue she's toxic because she has a bad love crush. Leave
Britney alone.
Look, Britney. Actually, I was gonna say Britney's doing just fine, but probably not. Anyway, let's see. Pengu says, "Keep my mind off crappy things." Yep. Hello, lovelies. Hello, legends. We're gonna be talking about the divine love to start. So the idea in a lot of cultural places, especially the culture and the religion, are so deeply entwined.
Yeah.
You have the idea of divine love, the love between you and your heavenly host. And that's going to start us off in the first class. We're talking about the Blessed One. This is in your Advanced Player's Guide handbook. I had to cheat and look at the cover.
It's really quick. I just want to point out we're going to be talking about archetypes today. FYI.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to have a chat with the chat about like core classes, but the basic premise is archetypes. These are going to be banged out real fast. So let's just have a good day, because I think this week is hard on everyone, and the last thing we need to do is worry about it. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So, divine love, right? The Blessed One. This is a really cool, very small archetype. And when I say small, I mean it has at max, if you decide to go full class, only 4 powers, only 4 feats. And it's a very easy buy-in, and this can be given to many, many classes. But let's take a look at it and see what it does.
Oh, do you want me to read off the flavor, or do you want to?
Let me read off the flavor really quick.
All right.
Through luck or deed, heritage or heroics, you carry the blessings of a deity. This blessing manifests as the ability to heal wounds and remove harmful conditions, and exists independent of worship. You might offer thanks daily to the deity whose power you wield, or you might carry these blessings reluctantly, seeking to avoid responsibility, or even acting to defy the deity's influence on you. You might wear the robes of the deity's order, or you might give little thought and even less reverence for the source of your powers. However, you feel about these gifts, there can be no doubt that you wield a special power. Good line deities are most likely to empower a blessed one. However, deities of any alignment can grant such a blessing, as long as they're capable of granting a positive divine font for their clerics. This means such deities as Lamashtu might grant a foul version of the Blessed One's powers. And there are other feats that you can cram in here from the core rulebook, but since they are basically freebies from outside the archetype, we're going to stick with the basic archetype stuff here.
We have Adam Generator posted. Also, you can be a evil champion with Blessed One to have lay on hands and touch of corruption.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's the first time actually I did that in frame. As a heads up, I have a chronic nasal drip that's been happening since I was 12, so I apologize. Usually I spit off camera. Gross. But it's totally true. Like, especially for Magadon, right? The head devil lord of ambition and you know, mercilessness and all these things. The greatest lie the Dever ever told was the truth, right? So what if your devil lord, your demonic or evil person who's giving these powers is like, yes, no, heal them and confuse them. Like, that's a great way to go as a character choice.
And honestly, the greatest lie is a lie that everybody knows but won't admit to.
Also true. Also true. Yes, Adam Generator, you get a hero point because that's sexy. But let's get started with the Blessed One dedication.
All right. I guess I'll take this one then. And we'll just take turns, right?
Sure.
All right. Blessed One dedication. It's a feat you can take at level 2. Archetype dedication, and the archetype itself is Blessed One. You are touched by a deity and gifted with the ability to alleviate the sufferings of others. You gain the Lay on Hands devotion spell. It costs 1 focus point to cast a focus spell. This feat grants a focus pool of 1 focus point that you can recover using the refocus activity. You can refocus by meditating, whether you reflect on the deity granting the blessing or not, allowing your blessing to refill your focus pool. Your devotion spells from the Blessed One archetype are divine spells. Special, you can't take another dedication feat until you have gained 2 other feats from the Blessed One archetype.
Yeah, so what's great about this is, again, like Adam Generator kind of touched upon, you can have evil deities bestow this power. And regardless, the fluff and the dedication heavily hint at the fact that you do not have to be playing the religious game to get these benefits. You could be a fighter who is an atheist and is struggling against whatever concept of belief, whether it's engaging, acknowledging, whatever, and you still can be a blessed one. That's what's really cool about this. If a GM starts to flex on you and be like, no, you have to have a religious thing, you can just be like, nah, dude, that's the whole point of this, is that I am blessed whether I believe or not. It's my own character arc to choose how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun.
Pengu-chan posted, I love this concept of deity love. There's no question they exist.
Absolutely. I think whatever your focus is and whomever or whatever energy you connect with on that level is really important, and especially if it inspires you and strengthens you.
Yeah.
It's always been a part of my life.
Adam Generator also posted, or a evil dude who got blessed by a good deity by accident, or some other reason that is unknown to him, or the Blessed One not knowing which deity or why. I mean, I'm not too sure about the accident part, because once they realize said accident, it wouldn't be that difficult to like, okay, I'm taking it back now. No.
Also, Waffle, great to see you in the chat. Awesome as always to have you here. I will say this, I love the character. Okay, so my brain is painting this as an anime or a Shakespearean story. You can choose. I mean, anime is just Shakespeare on pixie dust. But I love the idea of this, like, lawful evil tyrant champion who accidentally does the right thing and accidentally does it so hard that the god, this holy god, blesses him. And then it's this like conflict of like, no, but I want to be evil and dark and edgy. And the god's like, oh yeah, you did really good there. I like the way you did that. Here's my holy blessing. And then, you know, you have this like, why won't you leave me alone? Because you're so darn cute. You keep doing such great things.
Basically,
anyway.
it's his mom. This is how I'm picturing it now. Evil champion warlord in full like heavy metal plate armor, full skull helmet, and his mom is like the goddess of motherly happiness and stuff. And he's
if
like,
you have that connection, that's funny.
And he's walking around, and he has that, ability like a lot of Disney princesses. Just like bunnies, birds, just like fly and flutter, and just lands on his shoulders. Like, get away from me! Keep trying to be evil here.
Yeah, and that's what I think is really funny about the Adam Generator is the idea of like your character constantly trying to fight against the goods. It's Kylo Ren. Oh God, it's Kylo Ren. That archetype was so much fun, and now I'm like, nope, it's just Kylo Ren. Anyway, moving on to this. More. So the Blessed Dedication feat you can take at 2nd level. At 4th level, you get Blessed Sacrifice. You gain the Protector's Sacrifice domain spell as a devotion spell. Increase the number of focus points in your focus pool by 1. So this is cool because you're getting another focus power. Focus powers are dope. I love them like crazy.
Do you mind letting us know what Protector's Sacrifice does?
Sure. Do you have it, or you want me to look it up for you?
Oh, I could do it. I have the tablet.
He has the way. Yeah, while you're looking that up, Adam Generator's like, you ruined it. Mwahaha, it's what I do. I ruin good times.
The way.
I ruin the way. Oh, that's
anyway,
so cool.
You protect your ally by... Oh, really quick. Domain, protection, cast, somatic, I believe it's a trigger of an ally within 30 feet of you takes damage, range of 30 feet, and you protect your ally by suffering in their stead. Reduce the damage the triggering ally would take by 3. You redirect this damage to yourself, but your immunities, weaknesses, resistance, and so on do not apply. You are subjected to any conditions or other effects of whatever damage your allies, such as poison from a venomous bite. Your ally is still subject to those effects even if you redirect all the triggering damage to yourself. And if you heighten it, the damage you redirect increases by 3.
Yeah. So it's a champion's best friend. What's going to be funny is that a certain cleric who's not the squishiest cleric in the world, but a closer cleric has this archetype. I don't believe she's gotten as far as Blessed Sacrifice yet, but that'll be interesting when that day arrives. So yeah, there's a whole, and here's the crazy thing: there's only 2 more feats left in this archetype class. So why don't you read number the one you get at level 8?
Actually, really quick, PJ. So we're only doing the advanced player's guide, right?
Yes, because like I said at the beginning, like a lot of these are from the core rule book and are just added to round this out. They're not really a part of the class. They're just an option.
Fair enough. Next one is Accelerating Touch. It's a feat that you can pick up at level 6. Archetype for Blessed One, and the prereq for this is a devotion spell, Lay on Hands. Your healing energies are infused with Bounding Energy. A creature that recovers hit points from your Lay on Hands gains a plus 10 foot status bonus to its speed until the end of its next turn. If you're playing on a grid or a battle map, more speed is always awesome.
Mm-hmm. You were reading the Blessed Spell? Sorry, I've been hearing some loud noises and I kind of lost my attention.
I read Accelerating Touch.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing, and Adam Generator made a good point. There is a bunch of feats that are not a part of the class. They are feats that the archetype grants you. And this is kind of cool, because if you actually look at the page, the ones that are actually straight up just the Blessed One features are just 4. There's just 4 of them. Now, here's the cool thing. Having this archetype does open you up to a number of features that the champions get, like Accelerating Touch. So let's say you are playing a cleric. You take the Blessed One. You're now sort of kind of being opened up for the potential of taking champion abilities. However, those are not Blessed One abilities. Those are champion abilities. And that's the only reason why I'm not going to cover those, is because when we discuss champion, all those abilities are going to be there. So yes, the Blessed One only has 4 feats. However, it also allows access to champion feats at 6th, 8th, 10th, 12th, 14th, and 20th, which is really good.
Yeah.
Considering this is basically a free multi-class now. Think about that.
Pretty much. And also, I kind of want to point out that you have access to champion feats and abilities. Say you're not a Blessed One champion. You could be a Blessed One, I don't know, rogue, Blessed One investigator, Blessed One wizard. Honestly, especially kind of squishy classes, having access to some of these champion abilities, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's like, for example, you could have this be a monk Blessed One, right? And what's cool is all of the abilities from the Blessed One is built around the Lay on Hands mechanic. So by proxy of being a monk, you're going to be using your hands a lot. You don't have to. You can obviously take the weapon feature, but you're still going to be within touching range. So as you're using your Blessed Sacrifice, your Blessed Dedication, and healing people, you can now start using this separate focus power to also be like another support for your party, as well as another damage dealer for your party.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go on to Blessed Spell. This is, again, one of the 4 from this class, not the champion abilities. The Blessed Spell is 1 action. You have to have the dedication and the ability to cast spells from spell slots. So if you are a monk, you might not be able to do this. But if you're a cleric, a wizard, a sorcerer, a druid, you can do that. Or a bard. Once per 10 minutes, when you focus your magic on an ally, you can remove harmful conditions. Conditions. What is with my mouth today? If your next action is to cast a spell from a spell slot, that spell targets only a single ally. You can also attempt to remove a harmful condition from that ally. The condition must be one that could be removed by your Mercy feature, including those granted by later feats such as Greater Mercy. Attempt a counteract check based on the spell's DC and level. This effect is in addition to the normal effects of your spell. So this basically gives you the 1-2 punch of being able to cast a spell and removing an effect. I believe there was something like this in 3.5 a long time ago. a lot of combining spells or spells with like a secondary effect to it. So it's really, really good to have more options.
Yeah.
Always.
Next one is, I believe, I'm going to read Blessed Denial, right? Because it's a little different here on the tablet.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they probably filled it in with a bunch of the champion
Yeah.
features that
Well,
are
it
along
also
the way.
says Source, Advanced Player's Guide, and that was what I was kind of looking at earlier.
Yeah, because like in the Advanced Player's Guide, there's a little chunk here from things from the core rulebook that this class also gets.
Yeah. But anyway, Blessed Denial. It's an archetype for, you have to have the archetype Blessed One. Prereq is the Blessed One dedication, and there's a trigger of an ally within 30 feet would become frightened, drained, enfeebled, sickened, or stupefied. You exude peace and protection, lessening a harmful condition as it falls upon an ally. Reduce the value of the condition your ally would take by 1 to a minimum of 0. If the ally takes more than one condition at the same time, choose 1 to reduce.
Yeah, and drained is probably the most terrifying thing in this entire game. Like Doom is also pretty bad, but Doom still kind of requires you to be killed. Drained just makes you dying so much more easy, and honestly,
I love the fact that this is actually a really powerful ability because there's no limit, and also it's just a trigger. You don't even have to do it on your turn as long as somebody gets one of these conditions within 30 feet of you.
Yeah, and it's a reaction reduced by 1 to a minimum of 0. And now here's the thing: unless you're like a level 30 god type character and you can handle like a drain 5, which that's awful, don't do that. You're probably only gonna get drained 1 or enfeebled 1, maybe enfeebled 2. So the fact that you can basically just go, nope, is outstanding because you do not need your barbarian getting enfeebled, and you do not need anyone getting drained, and you sure as hell don't need your wizard getting stupefied. And the fact that you can, as a reaction, almost negate, depending on the condition number, negate these things is delicious.
Really quick, I'm gonna jump into chat. Adam Generator posted, one of my players in the Extinction course took Blessed One as his free archetype. He doesn't know which god blessed him or why he can now heal, and I gave him a necklace with a crystallized aurora. It's a relic, but they haven't discovered the first gift. And that player's a monk.
Very nice. Cool. Well, see, there you go. I love it when that syncs up. My favorite build of all time for a character was 3.5, and it was a monk paladin combo with the prestige class back when they did prestige classes. That was the Sacred Fist. Oh my god, I loved it. It was so much fun.
Waffles Maple Syrup posted, you peeps are awesome, to be honest. You're awesome too.
Dude, the waffles and the syrups, you guys are so amazing, and we love you.
Adam Jenner also posted, Sicken is also really scary, especially if your character has awful fortitude. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely is terrifying. Which is funny, because like I remember Sicken in the first edition was like, it was okay. You got some penalties here and there, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And that's nothing to sneeze at. A -2 can really change everything. So that was the Blessed One. Easy peasy, divine love. Now we're moving into romantic love. And what's funny about that term, romantic, is that it often is kind of disambiguous and confusing because you have romantic as in romance, tick, or the romance period, which, oh God, I forgot. It appeals to a level of, my friend told me this disambiguation. No, I mean, sort of. So here's the thing. The problem is that it originally dictates to a level of heroic fantasy style set in a level of imperialism. I don't think it was based off the Romans, but it had something to do with it. My friend could tell me the whole truth. But that's why you have stories like The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which if you love Chinese history and Chinese badasses, check it out. But that doesn't mean anyone loves each other. Hell no. I mean, there's the Brotherhood Oath, but that's a different story. but now we're going to the romantic hero. I mean, you could play this as courtly love. You know, I shall love my lady, though I cannot have them. They shall inspire me, and I shall protect her honor, though we shall not date.
Basically, Lancelot,
which is fine.
from the King Arthur legend, Lancelot, right?
Exactly. And Lancelot comes from the romantic style of stuff, like King Arthur. So that was a long way of me saying, I'm smart. I know things. And this is a pun.
He doesn't just lift books.
I don't just lift weights, I lift books. You think my weights are heavy, you should see my bookcase. Anyway, so we're going now to, if you haven't already figured it out, the Cavalier. Now, this is a much larger class. This is actually kind of rare. Normally with archetypes, they stop about 12, 16, 18. This is a full 20.
Yeah.
I mean, a light sprinkle, but a full 20. So let's get into it.
This is why we didn't do it first.
Also, quick little break. This just made me laugh. Pengu-chan, you get a hero point. When I was saying courtly love, Pengu-chan says, lol, I heard that as Courtney love. And I was like, huh. Sorry, I'm now back in the 90s and I'm listening to Kurt Cobain. So it makes me laugh. Anyway.
That's for you fans of Hole.
Oh, God, yeah. Moving right along.
I think I just dated myself.
No, it's okay. I did too when I said Nirvana and Kurt Cobain.
Anyway, let's move on before we feel even more old.
Yeah, just trying to get right into this bad boy. Cavalier, you are a skilled and dedicated warrior on the battlefield who specializes in fighting astride a powerful animal companion that serves as your mount. You and your mount are an unparalleled team, moving with shared intent to become a powerful force on the battlefield. You might wield a banner in the name of a greater organization, a liege, or an ideal you uphold. Or you must fight solely to further enrich your own prestige, reputation, and coffers.
Love ain't
for
cheap.
That, we have the Cavalier dedicated. Oh, love ain't cheap and neither is service, right?
Pengu-chan posted, I donate my hero point to a character that needs it tomorrow. I'm going to predict, I have an idea who it's going to be. I'm going to write it down, put it in an envelope, and just, when that name gets called, I'll pull it out.
Okay, all right. So, Pengu-chan, you got to be in the chat for Edge of Legends so you can tell us who to get that hero point to. And I'll just be extra gracious because it's the Valentine's Day game. If Michael Powell is right, he gets a hero point.
Anyway, before we actually go into dedication, I actually want to read out what they have for Cavalier pledges, because this is actually really interesting. I was actually checking it out earlier. Many Cavalier pledge themselves in service to a specific organization or individual, such as a noble family or sovereign ruler, a knightly order or another organization, or a particular ideal. A Cavalier pledged to an order or ideal must uphold its edicts and is beholden to any anathema it has. For example, a Cavalier pledged to the Druids' animal order would be tied to that anathema, while a Cavalier pledged to the Church of Abadar would be held to the same standards as a cleric of that god. If you pledge yourself to an entity or cause without a stated anathema, you should work with your GM to determine the edicts and anathema associated with your pledge. Cavaliers who have pledged themselves can gain access to certain abilities related to that pledge, such as Cavalier's Banner. If you violate the anathema of your If you violate the thema of your pledge, you lose access to these feats until you benefit from a tone ritual. Changing the subject of your pledge is equivalent to retaining a class feature.
Yeah. So you really gotta be careful with the anathemas there, because if you screw up your own code of conduct, you may have to basically retrain. Yeah. And that could be interesting.
Yeah, and also I really like the idea that it doesn't have to be a deity or anything. It could be, like I said, an actual person or a particular ideal. You're not, like, forced into... You have to basically be a person of this entity or druidic order.
It's not like... So, like, behind the looking glass here a bit. In 3.5, that was when the Cavalier, at least my earliest exposure... to the Cavalier archetype or prestige class was first released. And it was a very short class buy. I want to say it was like only 3 to 5 classes tops, and levels tops. And it was really more of a thing to either enhance Paladin or enhance like a niche fighter build. That's really what it was. And then Pathfinder First Edition came out and said, let's make it a whole class. And it was this really interesting buffer class. But the problem was that it required a horse at all times. And that became problematic because horses sometimes don't fit in dungeons.
Yeah.
So...
really quick. I'm going to read chat. Malice1974 posted, so Blessed One is the ultimate debuffer, and Adam Generator responded with, he is the ultimate debuff cleaner. He doesn't do debuffs, he heals them.
Yeah, so a lot of the abilities from the Blessed One aren't technically Blessed One feats that you're talking about. They are access to champion feats that let you do that. But there are certain abilities, now remember, that let you cast a spell and then remove a debuff, or as a reaction, remove a debuff. So I stand corrected. Yeah, it's a really great debuff cleaner.
Yeah, Adam Generator also posted, it's sad that the Cavalier doesn't have a challenge like in First Edition.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second, but I do agree, and I think there's workarounds. But without further ado, let's go with the Cavalier Dedication feat. Level 2, prereqs must be trained in nature or society. Might be easy to do. You gain an animal companion that serves as your mount. You can choose from animal companions with the mount special ability, as well as any additional options from your pledge as determined by your GM. Bookmark that. You must choose an animal companion that's at least one size larger than you. At least one size larger than you. But if the animal usually starts out as small, you can begin with a medium version of that animal, changing no statistics other than size. Okay, so you don't get the bigger damage buff for the HP, but at least you get to ride it. Special, you cannot select another dedication feat until you have gained 2 other feats from the Cavalier archetype. This restriction is waived if you have pledged the organization associated with the other dedication feat. For example, if you are pledged to the Hell Knight Order, you could take the Hell Knight dedication feats without needing to gain other feats from Cavalier first. That is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Endless possibilities as a Hell Knight Cavalier.
And also, I like the fact that if your character is small, you can have a medium version of that animal. So I'm pretty sure it's never going to happen. But if a certain gnome druid gets his badger friend up to dire size. You know, druidic Cavalier, who's also brewing a bunch of booze.
It is funny you mention that. I don't know if Ian has discussed if he wants to go Cavalier or not, but I know for a fact once he hits level either 4 or 8, one of those two, I can't remember off the top of my head, his badger is going to grow in size enough that he can actually ride Mush into combat.
Why do you think we're stuffing it full of like sweet buns right now? Mush is a growing boy.
You like that badger like you like your pastries.
Yeah.
Doughy.
Double thick.
With
2 C's.
With like 9 C's. But here's a bookmark I want to get back to. The special mount, right? It doesn't have to be a horse. If you are like a gnome or a halfling, it could be a mastiff. If you are a druid, it could be a snow bison, like Ian had in that last campaign we played years ago. And honestly, the bison did all the hard work. Yeah. God.
Appa, yip, yip.
The bison's name was Snivier, and at first we were like, we're all going to be these like hyper-powered Gestalt characters, and then we all sucked, and the bison was rolling like a god, crit 20s everywhere, and so the bison did all the hard work and saved us. So we decided to call the campaign Snivier and his 3 idiot friends. But also, as a GM, you could have a giant direwolf for an orc if you want to go with that classic orc-warg combination. And it's totally it's totally available. You could have an orc cavalier. Wink, wink. So let's go with the next one. I'm also seeing a goblin can have a wolf. Absolutely.
Yeah.
An alpaca mount. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Next one is, I believe, Cavalier's Banner. You have to have the archetype of Cavalier first. Prereq Cavalier dedication requirements. You have pledged your service to a organization or ideal, and you fly the banner of your pledge from your mount, raising your spirits. You and all allies within 30 feet gain a +1 circumstance bonus to will saves and DC against fear effects. If your banner is destroyed or removed, allies within 30 feet becomes frightened 1. Little good. That's a fun risk versus reward there.
Yeah, it's good because it gives the players something to do, but also gives the GM something to do. I like that. Oh my God, Adam Generator said Capybara Mount. Yes, Adam Generator, you get a +1 hero point for Capybara Mount. That is amazing.
Right.
Anyway, Cavalier's Charge, 2 actions, also at level 4, so you can decide between the two which one you want. Dedication, you have to have the dedication, and you are currently riding your mount. You command an animal to order your mount to stride twice. At any point during this movement, you can strike one enemy within reach or within the first range increment of a ranged weapon. You gain a +1 bonus to your attack roll. So this is kind of like the barbarian and the fighter that both have the ability to move twice and attack once on a 2-action economy, which is disgusting if you think about it.
Yeah.
What's awesome about this is that not only can you do that like they can, but you get a +1 to hit. On top of that, you're not limited to only melee combat like the other variations are. You could be throwing javelins. You could be doing a bow rider and still get the +1.
Mongolian horsebow.
Yeah, dude, the Mongolian and Turkish horsebow riders basically redesigned cavalry combat and flatland combat for like 100 years.
Yeah.
Maybe even 1,000 until the guns were invented. Like, it's a nasty thing.
Yeah. Next one is Impressive Mount. It's another level 4 feat. There's actually a lot of level 4 feats, actually.
Oh, but anyway, there's one more, too.
Cavalier. You have to have the archetype Cavalier and the Cavalier dedication. You've trained your mount to become a powerful force on the battlefield. The mount you gain through Cavalier dedication feat becomes a mature animal companion, granting it additional capabilities. During an encounter, even if you don't use the command animal action, your animal companion can still use one action on your turn to stride or strike. More actions, more fun.
Also, what's really exciting about the Impressive Mount is that it increases the damage and strength and potential of your mount.
Yeah.
And the fourth one is Quick Mount.
Yeah.
It's one action, you're on your horse. Not to say it's not good. It is absolutely good. It's just not. So what I was going to say was, at 4th level, you have this really amazing opportunity as a Cavalier to have a specific Cavalier build. This is what's mechanically exciting. You get the Cavalier's Banner, which now puts you as a buff potential, right? You have the Cavalier's Charge, which now makes you a mobile fighter. And then you have the Impressive Mount, which now means your entire mount focus is on your mount and not yourself. So you can build this amazing monster of damage. You could be the Harrier just flying all over, or you can be a secondary bard. Those are all really cool choices at level 4.
I don't know. Like, honestly, because honestly, there are some there's some GMs out there that are real sticklers. So if your GM's a real stickler for certain things, Quick Mount can actually be super useful.
Oh yeah, and I apologize. I wasn't trying to downplay the Quick Mount. But I just wanted to take a moment to talk about the other exciting builds. This is really good for, stickler GMs, people that are playing in games that really take the time to crunch the minutia of action economy. And the fact, and this is really cool, the fact that you can mount your animal and make a command animal check with one action is really great, because this is what I call the balanced feat. This is good if you don't have a specific build that you want to go down. This is good for all Cavaliers.
Yeah. And also, you made this point a lot in the show that it's hey, I could do this. I have this. It allows me to. F you. The F you.
The F you pay me skill.
The pay me skill.
So
yours is more polite. Yours is more polite.
Oh no, it's the full thing. You can't do that. Yes, I can. That's what the skill says. If you pay me. Malice says it's a quick draw for mounts. Yeah, it's exactly that. And what makes me laugh my head off is the idea now of a bow rider riding a horse and then shooting horses out of a bow. I don't know why my brain went there, but it makes me giggle.
All right. Next up, we have a level 6 feat called Defend Mount. It's a Cavalier archetype. Prereq is Cavalier Dedication, and the trigger is an enemy makes an attack roll against your mount while you're riding it. You interpose yourself between an attacker and your mount, defending your mount from harm. Use your own AC against the triggering attack instead of your mount's AC. If the triggering attack hits, you take the effects of the attack instead of your mount. This is actually really good because as a Cavalier, your mount is honestly your life. Without your mount, you are seriously hampered.
Very, very true. Without your mount, you're kind of a boring fighter. And that's
honestly,
actually...
I was going to say really quick. With down the line, when you get down to levels, with all the armor and magical items you're going to probably have, your AC is actually probably going to be higher than your mounts.
Yeah. And this is an interesting bridge from Pathfinder First Edition. Back then, there was a lot of abilities to protect your mount, to give them your AC, to impose bonus armor and parries and all that kind of cool stuff. Because if your mount died, it was dead. You couldn't just do a ritual and get a new one. You have to like find a new one, break it, bond with it, whatever.
Yeah,
and it may even cause you...
Yeah, basically, PJ, do you remember a show called The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. with Bruce Campbell?
A little bit, yeah.
It's basically Bruce Campbell's character and his horse Comet.
Yes, 100%.
Like, the horse had a whole personality, is like an entire actor next to the human actors.
I mean, honestly, mounts with... I'm sorry, not just mounts, but animal companions with personality are... the best. I love it when, because like if all that animal companion is a motorcycle, you might as well just have a carriage.
Yeah. Really quick, in chat, let's see. Adam Generator posted, also mature animal companion can be really good for that one action. It basically gives you quicken, stride, or strike if you don't command the animal. Yeah. And Malice posted, it's the little things. It's always the little things that matter.
Absolutely, the little things are always what matters. And gosh, I think does the impressive mount make it mature, or does that just make it? Hold on.
Yeah, it does, I believe.
Yeah, mature animal companion. There's a language. Yep. Yeah. So I think that the big difference is that the quick mount is for like if you don't want to buff the stats of your mount. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, why wouldn't you? But if you don't want to, then at least you still get the benefit of having that initial quick movement, but you also gain the benefit of being able to get into the fight.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe you don't want to have all the dedication feats of this archetype.
Yeah, but we will go further and see how this build can spread.
Yeah.
Coming up with mounted shield, prerequisites, dedication feat. Yeah. At level 6, you're trained with your shield to defend both yourself and your mount. When you raise a shield while mounted, both you and your mount gain the shield's circumstance bonus to AC. If you have the shield block reaction, you can use it in response to your mount taking damage, as long as you are riding your mount. If you do, the shield prevents your mount from taking damage instead of preventing you from taking it, following the normal rules of shield block. Once again, we go down another ability path to protect your horse, because you need that horse. It's your everything.
PJ, what do you think? Defend mount or mounted shield? Which would you rather go for?
That's right, because they're both level 6s.
Yeah. They're kind of the same a little bit, but you take the damage with the defend mount, but the mounted shield, I think you just get the shield AC bonus.
I'm going to say mounted shield. And I think it's better because, A, you are increasing both you and the mount's armor. And on top of that, it's a reaction. So it kind of functions like defend mount, but it puts your shield in harm's way, which is what the shield is there for, and it gives you bonus AC. Malice says it really depends on your mount's AC compared to yours.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
However, at least my thought is this: it's your armor class versus the horses, or it's both your armor classes plus your shield bonus.
I don't know. I'm leaning more towards defend mount because it's also a trigger, and also it takes into account of everything that gives you an AC bonus. Yeah, you're gonna take the damage if it hits, but it's your overall AC is gonna be higher than just your shield AC bonus.
I mean, yeah, it really depends. I
Yeah.
think the big key here, right? The big defining factor between defend mount and mounted shield is what class you're playing before this archetype, because some classes get shield block right away. Some classes may not. Let's say you're playing a ranger cavalier and you're a bow rider. Just putting that out there. I need boy, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I don't believe ranger gets shield block. Or if they do, they get it pretty late into the build. So if you don't have the shield block ability and you're a fighter, you're a martial class, defend mount is better. But if you have the shield block feat, say you're a druid, a fighter, a champion, a barbarian? No? Whatever?
I don't think
I don't remember if they have it or not. But either way, if you have shield block, I feel like mounted shield might be better.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam Generator posted, also both feats depend on if the DM is smart and actually targets the mount. I've seen a lot of DMs that ignore the mount because it's kind of a bother to target it. Fair
Yes, that's another thing. I think it's also because most GMs don't want to kill the horse. They want to kill the player, or they want to hurt the player.
Yeah, who wants to hurt an animal?
And I'm generally, yeah, sometimes I just forget they can target the mount. Yeah, I think so many GMs are so focused on the character, they're not focused on the animal companion. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is, what if you're using a sweeping attack? What if you're using an AoE? What if you're using anything that would affect both targets?
Yeah.
But that's,
anyway,
yeah.
Let's move on to the level 8 feat, which is Incredible Mount. Prereq is Impressive Mount, and under your care and training, your mount has realized its innate potential. The mount you gain through the Cavalier's dedication feat becomes a nimble or savage animal companion, your choice, gaining additional capabilities determined by the type of companion. Yeah.
And this is really cool because this is basically giving you almost with the same math the animal companion upgrades that a druid gets. So now you have some really kind of interesting builds without having to fully archetype into druid, which I think is really fun.
Yeah. Do we want to go into what nimble savage is, or just want to move on?
Why don't we save that for an episode on animal companions one day?
Alrighty. That sounds fair.
Yeah. Trampling Charge. Feat level 10. One of two choices, it appears. 3 actions. This is going to be your whole turn to do this. Requirements. You are riding a mount that has a melee strike, using its legs, claws, talons, hooves, etc. You urge your mount forward, trampling enemies in your path. You command your mount to stride up to its speed, or burrow, climb, fly, or swim, if it's relevant.
That has to be like a giant seahorse, like in the old Justice League cartoon with Aquaman on it.
Yeah, I used to know those things' names. It was Aquaman and his sidekick Aqualad and his seahorses. Oh god, what's they're like Triton and anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. So basically you stride up to your speed in whatever type of speed your mount has, moving through the spaces of any foes in your path up to one size smaller than your mount. Your mount deals damage equal to the melee strike using its legs to each creature whose space you move through, subject to only a reflex save against or your mount's athletics DC. On a critical failure, the creature also becomes flat-footed until the end of your next turn. You can damage a given creature only once during this movement. Holy crap. Okay, so let's just say you're on a horse, right? You're on a horse. And your horse is amazing. That horse can go maybe 60 feet. Maybe if you give it some special magical items, it can go 80 feet. you go through 80-foot movement of dudes.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's up to 9 squares. That's up to 9 people. That's up to 9 people you can attack.
Yeah. Or also if you're underwater on that giant seahorse. I would also rule it as it doesn't have to have legs. It could be the seahorse tail, just like whipping back and forth at all these enemies.
Yeah, and what's so crazy is that like these are not weak animals, especially not by level 10, where
Yeah.
each damage or each strike is doing multiple d8s
Yeah. Especially
plus
if
at
you
least
take
5.
level 8 Incredible Mount, now they're nimble or savage.
Yeah. Okay, so horses have a 45. Okay, they must have changed because I think in 3.5. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. In 3.5, I thought they had a 60, or that might be 50. Either way, thank you for the 45-foot correction.
Either way, it's still a really good ability. Plus, what if you give that if it's a horse, enchanted horseshoes that increases its movement speed or something.
Yeah, they exist. I think there's definitely the horseshoes of increased movement, and some in Pathfinder First Edition they had them. I think they're trying to move away from this in Second Edition, but there used to be horseshoes that not only made your horse run faster, but basically treat your horse like a monk and allowed to enhance their damage when they struck with their legs. But what I love about this is if you guys remember the ability in Pathfinder 1 where you could like charge through people, the math made it damn near impossible for a human to charge through a number of humans. There's all these different factors that could stop you dead in your tracks. There's nothing stopping you from moving. There's only just reflex save to not get crushed.
Yeah.
That's
We have
amazing.
Pengu Chan in chat posted, I have a dragon mount. Yeah, if you have a dragon mount, this could be really, really, really sick.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and Adam Jenner posted, the only thing I remember of 3.5 was the book Dragonomicon.
The Draconomicon, was that the one that first released the half dragon race, the half dragon thing?
Maybe.
Huh.
But anyway, let's move on to the next feat, which is Unseat. It's a level 10 feat, one action. This is a feat where if you decide to go full jouster, full medieval times, prereq is Cavalier dedication, and the requirements for this is that you're riding your mount and wielding a jousting weapon, like a lance. You attempt to knock an opponent off their mount. Make a melee strike against a mounted opponent. If your attack hits, attempt an athletics check against the opponent's fortitude DC. If you succeed, the foe is knocked off its mount into a space of its choice adjacent to its mount. If you successfully succeed, it lands prone. This is actually really nice. Especially if you have, let's just say, a trampling charge or something, and your next turn you just trample through them.
Yeah, I think it's also good if you're doing war games, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a war and there's officers who are mounted, and the loss of that officer would have massive penalties to morale checks for the enemy not to run away, right?
Yeah.
So if you're playing those kind of things, but I
was gonna say, like, what if we did like a full-on war game thing with the Battle of Fort Ragley?
There's plans. I have plans.
I'm pretty sure. I suspect.
But the one thing that I will say is the one weakness to Unseat is that it really only works if you're fighting other mounted enemies. And while that is extremely useful when that time comes, it's regrettably not reliable in most combat situations.
It's
Unlike
situational.
trampling charge, my brain is delicious. Like if anyway,
it's situational.
Yeah. Let's see here. Malice is saying in the chat, oh, they got rid of the bonus damage that the Cavs get from charging. Yeah, I do believe they did that, but it might be in the mounted combat section of the book. It may not just be related to only the Cavalier.
All right. Next up, I believe, is Specialized Mount. Why don't you take that away, PJ?
My pleasure. Feat level 14. You've trained your mount to perform in unusual or even extreme circumstances, granting it abilities far beyond others of its kind. Your mount gains 1 specialization of your choice. Special. You can select this feat up to 3 times. Each time, add a different specialization to your mount. Your mount can't have more than 3. And again, this kind of goes back into the Animal Companions section of the core rulebook and what those specializations are. But the fact that you already have a nimble or savage animal companion and now you're choosing a specialization as opposed to just going with the specialization the mountain normally comes with.
Yeah.
And you can stack up to 3. That's exciting. That's cool. I
just realized something. What if your mount is basically Rush, like Mega Man has?
Yeah. First I was like, oh, that's amazing. And I just remembered Rush has that, like, springboard on his backside.
Oh, I just thought of this. PJ. Inventor Cavalier.
Ooh, your companion, your robot companion is your mount?
Yeah. And you have, like, the specialized mount feats and everything.
Woo! Okay, so here's the hybrid we're working with here. Just bear with me on this. Gunslinger, a few levels here and there. I don't know which way. Investigator, good lord. Inventor, with the companion, Cavalier, and now you have blue armor. You're Mega Man.
Yeah.
You're Mega Man and Rush, and that's so good.
Yeah. All right. This is the capstone. We have Legendary Rider at level 20. The prereq is Cavalier Dedication. You and your mount move like one being, effortlessly reading each other's signals. Whenever you are riding your mount, you are quickened, and you can use the extra action only to command your mount using the Command an Animal skill action, which I believe it's stride, movement, and even strike, right?
Yeah, I believe the Command an Animal skill action can be used to move, attack, or do a skill check. Either way.
Yeah. I'm just looking it up right now. It's most animals know the drop prone, leap, seek, stand, strike, and stride basic actions.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Especially if you went down the tree to hyperfixate or focus on the animal companion itself. That means now you're doing whatever damage you can do, which with whatever your base class is, it's probably gonna be pretty nifty. Champions, you have your amazing reactions. Holy crap, I love the champion reactions. The smites are okay. The smites have been balanced. I'm a little sad because they're not as overpowered as they used to be. But you also have the fighter, who's just doing raw weapon damage like a psychopath. But now you have, or even a barbarian, who rages and beats people with their weapon. So now you have this powerful melee guy, astride a pretty powerful, probably not as strong as the rider, but still a very powerful mount that can now just attack for free every round. And the multi-attack penalty doesn't apply to it, I don't believe, which means when you're doing your 1, 2, 3, you're hitting them with a crispy one, with a 99. Here comes a side piece of taters, a little cheese on it, just to make the whole meal complete.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this.
It's good. Now, of course, the problem here is that you really have to, you really have to invest in this, and you really have to keep your mount. Mm-hmm. Again, in first edition with the Cavalier, if you lost your mount, you may have actually lost your Cavalier class and were a fighter without any of the weapon skills. Yeah. So you got to be careful.
So yeah, got to keep that mount alive.
Yep.
All right. Well, that has been the Blessed One and the Cavalier.
Yeah, but you know what? We still have a lot of time left until our normal cutoff time. So we talked about blessed romance, the divine love, the love between you and your divine patron, whether you like it or not. And we also talked about the romantic hero, right? The knight. The knight astride a magnificent steed. Let's talk about toxic love, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go to the poisoner. This is something that we're going to slip in there as a fun little surprise.
Yeah, this is those, I kind of want to say, those detective noir movies where you have the femme fatale.
Mm-hmm.
Love those femme fatales. Or, was it? Oh, God, what was it? Death Becomes Us. That was a great movie.
I grew up with that movie on my radar, like when I went to Blockbuster, back when VHSs were a thing, and I always wanted to watch that movie. Never got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been curious about it. By the way, before we continue, I'm seeing the chat talking about the old Cavalier and the Paladins and all that good stuff. What were you gonna say, Michael? So sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna read some stuff from chat. We got some people posted. They want to see. Let's see, the Dandy. We actually did the Dandy already.
That's true.
Yeah, I believe it's either already up on our YouTube channel, or it's gonna be up on our YouTube channel. And also the Duelist. That was actually, I thought about doing that, but after doing the Blessed One and the, Cavalier, all these positive romantic love things, I thought, hey, let's just go in another direction with a Poisoner. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I also kind of like it because we discussed, I want to say last week in a previous episode, the Alchemist.
Yeah.
We discussed the Toxicologist, which is really good at poisons. And now you can kind of say, okay, cool. If I want to be an alchemist that's focused on poisons, now we have something that makes it even more potent.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes love is great, and sometimes love is stupid and it's toxic. So
and poison
and poison.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, go see a therapist. Yeah. That's the best advice anyone can ever give anybody.
How about this? I'm gonna read the flavor, and I'll have you take care of the dedication.
Sounds like a plan. I don't know.
All right. This is also going to be in your Advanced Player's Guide, page 186. People are so delightfully fragile when exposed to the glories of nature. The bite of a certain serpent makes the blood congeal to jelly. A particular stone, subtly powdered, causes hallucinations and delirium. The sap of a tree inflicts such pain that death seems preferable. You are a student of such dark wonders, making you a dangerous foe indeed. I'm just now picturing also one of the greatest couples in, honestly, pop culture, Gomez and Morticia Addams. Morticia in that one scene in the movie where she's taking care of all those poisonous flowers in their greenhouse.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Now here's a good question for Valentine's Day. How would you stat Gomez and Morticia? Would Morticia be a dandy, a celebrity, a poisoner, a witch? I mean, they don't really say what Morticia is other than, like, big spooky energy, but...
I kind of want to say both Morticia and Gomez are dandies that actually just play... Like, two dandies that kind of go on... Dandies with different main classes. Like, Gomez would be a swashbuckler, definitely, I think.
100%. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Morticia, I think maybe an oracle, honestly, or
I could see
witch, or witch with it as her, animal companion.
Oh, but I love that. Like, okay, so first of all, it is one of the uncles, cousins, I think.
No, not it. Yeah. Sorry. Thing. Sorry, the hand. I was thinking the hand.
Thing. I could totally see the hand as their familiar. That would be great. Oh, no. How about this? Bear with me. Morticia is a summoner, and her eidolon is Lurch.
Maybe.
She summons Lurch. Lurch shows up. It could be like an occult summon, and he's just like,
Adam Jenner posted, Gomez is a bard with duelist.
I see. Ooh, that's tough. Because, like, yes, but also...
I still say Maine would be swashbuckler. Maybe have maybe one or two levels of archetype of bard, maybe, but Maine would definitely be, I feel, swashbuckler, and then the second highest archetype would have to be dandy.
See, because here's the thing we have to remember about Gomez. He's just big weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, if everyone around him is a monster, the reason why Gomez fits in is because he's like the horrible abomination child of the Cossacks. Like, he's just big time crazy, but he's not a monster. But I love the idea of him being a swashbuckler, because that's definitely his niche. And I can see why the Bard, because the Bard's also big energy, big presentation, but he doesn't have magic. Gomez is non-magical.
Yeah.
If he did have magic, maybe a side of Bard, like swashbuckler with a bit of Bard, absolutely.
I still say, like I said, main would be swashbuckler, and he's just like, everything he does, he's getting panache.
I mean, yeah, because think about the now. Here's the thing: we're also, oh god, we're getting
to our build now. Oh god,
yeah, we are. But like, we're having one of those like MCU arguments where you're like, listen, movie canon versus show canon versus comic book canon, because Gomez in the movies versus Gomez in the black and white TV show, kind of two different things, right?
Yeah.
Like. Gomez in the movie, certainly a swashbuckler. He is flying on the chandeliers. He is sliding down the banister. He is talking smack the whole time he fights that guy. He's doing flips off stuff. Like he is definitely a battle dancer and bravado swashbuckler. 100%.
Yeah, maybe I would say maybe the wit one also, because he is a fast talker. But anyway, we should probably get back to the Poisoner dedication.
Yeah, that was a fun. Hey, listen, this is what the show's about: talking mechanics and making stuff up. So
yeah.
I'm a huge fan. Maybe, who knows, when the Halloween episodes come, we might do a
build.
Family.
Yeah, Morticia, and that'd be cool. We'll just build the entire Addams family.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna take 8 months, but we're gonna do it. When Halloween comes around, when October comes around, we're gonna build the Addams family episode by episode. That's a promise. That being said, the Poisoner.
Locking us in.
Yeah, clack. Poison dedication. We're moving on. You make a point to always have a few toxins near at hand. You never know when arsenic or the like might prove useful. You gain the basic alchemy benefits from page 150, though they can be used only for alchemical poisons. You gain batches of infused reagents per day equal to your level. Your advanced alchemy level for creating these is 1 and doesn't increase on its own. Special. You can't select other dedication feats until you've gained at least 2 other feats from the Poisoner archetype.
Can I share something with the class, PJ?
Sure. I don't know what you're going to share, but share it.
Really quick. When we leveled up to 3, I really did think about maybe, because of how the story was progressing, maybe Rufa could, down the line, be a Poisoner.
Well, the cool thing about Poisoners is that, aside from a bunch of additional feats that they rip out of the core rulebook and the Alchemist class, it's only got like 8. Yeah, it's only got like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only got 5 feats.
Yeah.
So you could down the road do that. But I know we're working on a special homebrew archetype for your man.
Also, really quick, much like I believe Blessed One, it comes with also this archetype also comes with a lot of stuff from the core rulebook. If you don't mind helping me, PJ, letting me know what's in the advanced book that I should read.
Sure, I'll tell you what. I will tell you the title. So we'll just jump right to that. Next up is Poisoner's Twist.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Poisoner's Twist. It's a feat at level 4. 1 action, prereq, it's a Poisoner dedication, and you gotta be trained in medicine. Your last action was a successful melee strike that dealt damage against a target that is afflicted by a poison, and you know which poison. Poisons attack specific parts of the body. 1 venom might target the lungs, another the circulatory system, while another deteriorates the nerves. You know how to take advantage of such weaknesses. You deal 1d6 damage of the required strike damage type and 1d6 poison damage to the target. If you're at least 18th level, you deal 2d6 damage of each type. I like this. This is very nice.
This is really good.
But it's at level 4?
Yeah, level 4. It's free damage. It's at least 2d6 free damage. And then at 18th level, it becomes 4d6 free damage. You put this on a rogue with any level of training in poisons, which I think rogues get. And of course, you get that delicious murder knot and pop that sucker. You get the
Oh,
damage.
persistent poison damage on top of that somehow.
Mm.
With, I believe you do, there are some alchemical poisons that does grant you persistent poison damage, I believe, right, PJ?
Oh yeah, and if not, you can easily make that the case.
Yeah.
Adam Generator said, "I have a group of NPCs based on the Scooby-Doo gang. I love it. Shaggy's an alchemist with Beastmaster for Scooby, and took the tumor familiar for Scrappy. Scrappy's a tumor. Daphne is a bard with Dandy. Absolutely. Velma's an investigator. She sure is. Freddy is an outwit ranger with Snarecrafter. Freddy is also a kobold. Yes.
There you
I
go.
love it. Expert poisoner. Feat level 6. This is one of the 2 level 6 feats you get to choose from. Your advanced alchemy level for poisons increases to your level -3. Oh, that's just what it does. Okay, cool. So the cool thing is that now you can make bigger, better poisons. You have to ask yourself, though, if you really want these things, because the other one is Poison Coat, and that might be more suited to your needs.
All right. Poison Coat is a level 6 feat. You have to have the Poisoner dedication first. Requirements is you have prepared your clothing to poison attackers. Trigger is a creature adjacent to you hits you with a melee unarmed strike. In nature, certain animals are covered in venomous spines, such that even touching them is deadly. To use this reaction, you must have brushed poison onto your clothing or woven sharp poison needles into your garment's fabrics. This takes 10 minutes and uses 1 dose of contact or injury poison. You can only have 1 such poison infused into your clothing at a time. When you use this reaction, the triggering creature is exposed to the suffused poison. I kind of want to say this is actually kind of situational, mainly for the fact that
Yeah.
how many times are you gonna actually get hit melee unarmed? I think you're gonna get hit by a weapon more times than not, right?
Yeah, like it's great against animals because I believe every attack from an animal counts as an unarmed strike. You know, it's the mouth, it's the feet, it's the horns. This is a monk kill. Well, I would say monk killer, but also if you're fighting an actual statted NPC monk, there's a huge likelihood that they have abilities to remove that poison. Maybe not
Yeah.
right away, but eventually.
And I think they have a pretty good fortitude bonus as well, right?
If not at the start, then yeah, eventually I think they get the
Yeah.
all saves are pretty high.
Their saving throws are bonkers.
Yeah.
But anyway, really quick, also, I kind of want to say, you know what? This reminds me of a wrestler in AEW called Darby Allin. One of the gimmicks he's doing right now is because he keeps getting jumped, people keep attacking from behind and stuff. He now wears a suit blazer in which he like hot glued a bunch of tacks all over it.
I love that. I was thinking of that. Yeah. Oh God, what was I gonna say? I don't know. Something else wrestling related. I love wrestling. It's so over the top.
Yeah.
But the one cool thing, the one benefit to Poison Coat, right? The one thing to take into consideration here is that while it's extremely situational, it is guaranteed application. There, to my knowledge, there is no save. There is no temps. If they touch you, they get the poison. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But I would think that as someone who wants to use poison to their utmost efficiency, you'd rather get the expert poisoner, which just gives you more access. So you can do poisoner's twist and do more damage.
Yep. Malice posted, it's a bad touch deterrent.
That's the best right there, because if you're fighting an evil cleric or you're fighting an evil champion and they're like, lay on hands the bad way, you can be like, go ahead, do it. Do it. Do it.
All right. Take the next one, PJ. I don't know which the next one is, but take the next one.
All right, here we go. Acquired Tolerance. It's a reaction at level 8. Trigger, you fail to save against a poison effect. A small amount of poison taken at non-lethal doses can help the body build up resistances against more deadly dosages. Reroll the triggering check and use the second result, which, since you failed, you'd want to keep that one anyway. Once you use the acquired tolerance, you can continue to use it against the same type of poison that day, but you can't use it against a different type of poison until after you make your next daily preparations. For instance, if you used the reaction on a save against a giant scorpion venom, you can use it again against scorpion venom, even if it came from a different source, but you couldn't use it against nettleweed residue, lich dust, or any other poisons. So this is great, especially if you're in a survival campaign and maybe you're like in the halls of the snake or you're in like the jungles of the scorpion.
Yeah.
You know, now you basically have this almost immunity. You just have to get hit once.
Yeah, I still want to say, once again, this is extremely situational because you're only pretty much really good against one type of poison.
Mm-hmm. And so it really does depend. I do like it, and I think it's a good way to kind of like wrap up the romantic talk. We talked about the Blessed One, you know, that kind of love, you know, between a divine and the mundane. The Cavalier, the romantic hero, and of course the Poisoner, the toxic love. Going over the three in my head, I'm really on the fence at which one I like more. Blessed One seems like an amazing support class, one that can blend well with any class. Although it does seem like some of the abilities require you to either have the Lay on Hands feature, which I think you also just get at the dedication, but also be a spellcaster. So you really kind of have to figure out which one you want. The Cavalier or the Chevalier. I love the Chevalier. Oh my god.
See, my pick, honestly, of the three, from favorite to not the favorite, I guess you could say, because I love, honestly, I love all three of them. They're all honestly useful. But for me, it would be Blessed One, Poisoner, and then Cavalier. Mainly for the fact that, dude, debuffs are always useful. Clearing debuffs, healing type stuff, always useful in pretty much any situation in a party, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Poisoner, some of it is, like, once again, very situational, but still it could be used very... It's more useful, I believe, than Cavalier, maybe for that Cavalier, you're relying on... You're mainly relying on just one thing, and that one thing, which is your mount, might not be able to go into something like into a castle or a fort, or into underground like a dungeon as easily as just carrying around some vials of poison.
Yeah, and the good thing about I should say the interesting thing about these archetypes is that they do open up a lot of versatility to a lot of different classes. Malice was saying that he was kind of sad because, like, in 3.5 D&D, the Cavalier, it was only like a 3 to 5 point buy, and had this massive ability to just deal a bunch of damage in one charging strike. You know, you get on your horse, you get your joust, and you'd run and you'd smite into something.
Yeah.
They also mentioned that Pathfinder First Edition Paladin was busted. Yes, it was, but it was my busted, and I loved it. And so the Cavalier is interesting because it's kind of it's no longer what it was in the previous games. You can still get a little bit of those touches, but it does feel to me like it's a really, really solid way to have an animal companion be just as dedicated to melee combat as you instead of you.
Yeah. Really quick, I just want to read some of the other Poisoner feats. I'm not going to go into what they are, just going to read the title, because there's a lot here. There's Poison Resistance, Subtle Delivery, Poison Weapon, Tenacious Toxins, Sticky Poison, Pinpoint Poisoner, Improved Poison Weapon, Improved Poison Weapon, they posted it twice for some reason, and Chemical Contagion.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure those are spread out either amongst general feats, rogue feats, or alchemist feats. Either way, what's cool about all these feats, they can apply to anything. Having a rogue poisoner with a murder knot and a sneak attack focus, talk about burst DPS. You're putting so much damage on the line. Now, if the person is immune to poisons, there's the biggest caveat right there.
Yeah.
A lot of this class now becomes null and void because you can't poison them.
But you're very resistant. I like the fact that you also become resistant to poison, because a lot of the core classes that you pick in this game, you're good in 2 types of saving throws and not so good in 1. So say your fortitude is not that great because of the poisoner archetype, you're resistant to poison right off the bat.
Absolutely. So it's interesting, talking about the holy love, which I love because it can go to anyone. Basically gives any class the lay on hands feature, as well as some other fun ways to remove debuffs, which may not even be accessible by your class. The Cavalier is great for when, especially the level 20 Cavalier feat. I believe Maynard might have missed this. The level 20 Cavalier feat makes your mount permanently quickened. So after you take a full attack action, if you want to, a full action on attacking, your mount gets to attack for free, and it doesn't apply the map to your horse because I believe it's a different weapon.
Yeah.
And I might be wrong. You could
so.
easily argue either way, but that horse is doing some tremendous things. The poisoner thing is really great. I think it will suffer a little bit end game when things are either immune to poison or has massive saves against.
That's why
either way,
yeah. That's why I said the fact that you can also become resistant to poison, because poisons become a lot more powerful down the line.
Yeah, they really can. Man, that was a lot of fun. We got to talk about some romantic classes. We talked about the romance between the divine and the mundane, the romantic hero with the Chevalier or the Cavalier, and of course, the toxic romance of a poisoner. Oh, a lot of fun that was.
Yeah. We had some interesting discussions, and it's always fun to just, do a look into these archetypes that you could bring to your table with your characters.
Absolutely, and I love archetypes. They're such a great way to splash up really any class.
All right.
Hopefully you can tell us which one you liked. Until then, Michael Powell, let us know who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
All right. Well, I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social media handles, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao, or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff, such as my YouTube channel, which is Fantastic Tales of Adventure. And also on, I believe, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm on the Toyzilla Network channel for Toyzilla Live. It's a toy show. We talk about toy news and nostalgia stuff. Really fun. And yeah. Oh, and I believe coming up on, I'm blanking on it now, but from when this is recorded, next week on Tuesday, I will be doing a show doing a one-shot game on, I believe, what's it called? Live action roleplay, where we play Olive Garden, the LARP online edition. So that should be a lot of fun.
Oh man, that sounds so crazy. I mean, I can't imagine how much damage that bread's gonna do. Oof.
Ooh, unlimited bread, soup, and I believe bread, soup, and salad.
Oof. I'm just thinking someone going, fire bread. Anyway,
what about you, PJ? Where can we find you?
So glad you asked. My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, Facebook, internet, TikTok. You can also find me on Twitter at PJ McGaw. When I'm not here with Michael on Tuesdays, you can find me here, same Nat time, different Nat time, same Nat channel, for the Pathfinder 2nd Edition homebrew show, Edge of Legend, where we see a very special Valentine episode, maybe, as the half-orc warrior tries to ask out maybe their crush. We'll see what happens, as well as everything else, as the Green Ward just capitulates forward. The War Machine seems to be growing by the day. But also, February 25th, I will be appearing on the live action roleplay stream for Alice is Missing. We're going to be doing a live game of Alice is Missing, the all-silent roleplay game where we play 4 or 5 friends trying to find a missing woman, and the whole thing is done via texting, which should appear on the screen as we're talking, so you get to see all the dialogue coming up as it goes, which is really exciting. I love role-playing with the guys at Live Action Roleplay. This was a lot of fun. And last announcement, sorry, there's a lot. February 20th, the official release. You all asked for it. You got the hype train going for it. Raw's Rave Party. You're all cordially invited to a party in the Malibu Hills, entirely run by gods, some from Edge of Legend, some from real-world mythology, and maybe some guests crash the party. What's the worst that could happen? Tune in February 20th, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. to find out. And the last thing, and I'm really excited about this, March 6th is the official date, same time, 1 to 7 p.m., that we're going to be doing the Night Witches of New Jack City in honor of International Women's Day, as we give a fantasy life to a real historical tale of heroism with an all-female unit of bombers and fighters that terrified the enemy in World War II. That will be done for charity, for the Planned Parenthood charity, in support of them. So more details as we go. I'll make sure to remind you along the way, and we hope to see you there at the same Nat time, same Nat channel, and here at the table. Thank you, and be safe.
Bye.
Bye.